So, hello. This is Blender Basics, and Blender is this incredible 3D um, uh, software. It's open source. It's free, and it is critical to learn it and understand it if that's the direction you're going in and building games and 3D environments. It's even good with it's even good with modeling architecture as well. So all sorts of things that this does here. So definitely check it out, and you got to download it per usual. So go to the blender.org and then download, and it's for Macs and Intels and Windows and everything you need. So it's all they're always updating it. So consider that with you know making sure that you keep it updated and everything. So it's free. Let's get going. It gobbles up a bunch of space as well. So let's do it. So let's get going. Let's do this by doing a new general. So and this is what it looks like. We'll get into what everything does and all that stuff. But let's start fresh, and you hit new, and then you hit general. Oops, new, general. Sure. Let's do this. Call this basic 2. Again, with everything, you save it. You save everything, and yeah, this is gonna do a new one. Hold on, new general. All right, there you go. What comes up is a cube, 3-dimensional cube, and that's the object that you start with. And the object to the left, this is a camera, and there's some other object like there you go, this is a light, and yeah, that's those are the 3 different objects. You don't have to worry about the light for any of these tutorials or the camera. That's just not something you have to worry about. Now, first of all, let's start out with some preferences. And we are making a box beam sculpture, and we're trying to build some of it while at the same time we want to kind of learn a bit the basics of Blender. Now, they first go into, so we do want to first change the usually the default is metrics, and I think we're doing inches, and we're doing, so that is imperial. So you would want to go, and the imperial system is the American system, and that's what we're doing. There might be a time where you would want to do metrics for sure. Okay, where do we find that? We find these are the properties area right here. And you got render properties, output properties. You don't need to know that. You do need to know that scene properties is where we're going to change the units. Okay. Metric system is where it's at now, and we are going to imperial, and then we're going to length. We are going to go to inches. Okay. And it should save itself, because yeah, we're gonna deal with inches. The second thing you want to do is go into hold on, file, edit, edit, preferences, and there's a few little changes you want to change. If you want the resolution a little larger, you can do that. That means it's a little easier to see. I'm just going to leave it as that. Input, you emulate number pad. What this means is, a full scale keyboard has little numbers on it, and it does help to have numbers, and it also helps to emulate a 3-button mouse as well, unless you have a 3-button mouse, which I highly recommend. It's almost critical for doing 3D work, but if you are just relying on your laptop, there's a way of working around there's a way of working around not having a 3-button mouse. Let's see, everything else that's good. So there you go. Now what I'm doing is scrolling back and forth and looking at this object, which is a cube or a square, or however you want to. So you basically, what you have to concentrate on are object mode, right, or edit mode. Those are the two main modes that we're going to be working on. And I'm also in layout. I prefer layout over modeling, but certainly modeling is a good one as well. So you would either do modeling or layout for this one. I'm going to do layout. I'm just a little bit more used to it, but both work well. If you have a laptop and that's all you have and you don't have 3-button mouse, I rely on this anyhow. I go up there and click around like this, and you can just click around and drag, and this is an XY gizmo that allows you to look at the object and move around it and stuff like that. All right, and you can do things with object mode like move the cube. Okay, you can move it around. You can move it, let's see. You can also, it's a really nice, fun way to move it around is with hitting G. It gets it more free form, okay? If you move it by hitting the red arrow, that's moving it with the X. If you hit it with if you move it with it snaps into a Y axis, straight Y, and then Z is up. All right, and there that is. Okay, you want to kind of you want the scene over here. You want the object properties set. We just went to scene properties to change the scale, but you actually want this up, and this will give you an idea of how things are moving. You can see the location X. You saw Y. You saw the Z move up and down here. Okay, and then but what did it start at? Let's start all the way, and don't forget Command Z. Just brings everything back. So starts at 0, 0, 0 in the intersection, right in the middle of this XY. So this is to 0, 0, 0, but it also is halfway inside. So halfway sunken down. I can show you real quick with what the photo thing does. It goes. The camera, you can render an image and take a photo of it, and that is one thing that does. So, but we're not really working with that right now. So there are other ways of looking at this object. Again, I'm in object mode, and this is an orthographic system, and you learned orthographic with. That means that there's a top, side, front, bottom, back, and as well as an isometric view as well. And those are all here. The default is kind of isometric, and you can kind of see it, and navigate around it through the X, Y, and Z. But what if you want to just see the side of it? My favorite way, you can do. Remember, and we just clicked on and said that we had the hot number keys on the number pad. We got that going over in the preferences. That's one way of doing it. If you hit 1, that's a side view. 3 and 7, they're all like top. It all looks the same now because it's just a cube. But how I like to do it is actually hit tilde, and I always like this the best. It's the upper left under the escape key on the Mac. Tilde, you have to select it first. Tilde, this is my favorite, is view selected, and that brings you, hold on, that brings you close to the object. You're always going to need that. You're always going to be, because you're going to be way out and doing another box beam over here, and you're like, oh, I need to get back to this cube. So tilde you hit tilde, and after you selected the object, and you can always get back by view selected. Okay, right, and then you can pull back a little bit. Let's see, when you pull back, let's see. This is how you pull back and forward. If you put this over here, if you don't have a mouse, then you can go zoom or in or out over here. You see this plus? So I can do it easily because I can use my little scroll button thingy on my mouse, and that's how I do it. But you can easily do it with here if you don't have a mouse, and then again you can move it around like this. So what I was saying is the tilde, you can see it hit it over on the left. It just reminds you where you can see it. You can go back, and I want to see it on the right. Spins around. I want to see it. It'll make more sense when this object is oddly shaped, because it looks the same, but trust me, it's not the same. These are different views. These are orthographic views, and yes. Okay, so let's see that. Clicking up. I even use these two a lot. I even use this and this a lot, even though I have a mouse as well. But I use it. Sometimes I don't have a mouse and I'm stuck on the train and I need to just use my laptop. It works like I'm doing it right now. I'm moving it around with my 2 fingers like that, or you move it around like this, or you move this back and forth. So it's fairly easy to view it. Let's go back over here to again, you have to select this. We're still in object mode. There's a lot you can do in object mode. Again, we moved it. You can rotate it in different axes like that. I always like that. You can scale. Oops, got it. You can scale. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I would rather you not use a scale, because there's a better way of making the object taller, and that is in edit mode, and that just makes it more precise. When you hit transform, it's a mixture of all scale and move and all this stuff. So these are called gizmos, and they're very powerful, and that's how you can move things around. So we are going to go next to edit mode. So these are the different ways of how you can see and navigate, and also I think we talked about how to set up the sort of like the template. You can move the location around here if you want. Like say I want to go an inch down or an inch up. You know, moving up. I mean, X is to the right, and Y is to the front and back, and Z is actually up. So go up. Hey, I want to go up. But I like just to start clean and start from the 0. And you can scale here as well. And yeah, very powerful. These are the transform. Something that is not very common or known as well is this little click. And I absolutely rely on this a lot, because we're going to rely on it because you see you can play with the dimensions. So just say, for one thing, and we're jumping ahead of ourselves, but what if 48 inches, you want this cube, you want your tube, your box beam to be 4 feet high and 2 inches, or how about 4 inches wide and 4 inches wide. So and again, I can go like that, and I can hit tilde, and I can say view selected. I'm right at it. So there's your box beam to start out with, but let's we're getting ahead of ourselves. Again, this was right here. There's this special transform that I popped out, and that is something I think you want to keep open at all times as well. So again, that is the basic setup, navigation, and now we're going to head over to the edit mode. Now we're going into edit mode, and there's all sorts of fun things to do with edit mode. This is where you actually model it. This is actually where you shape the cube, and this is where you do, there's just a numerous possibilities. How about, why don't we start with selecting it again, and you want to select, this is the mode where you select either up here, it's the face mode, which is this, or the little vertices on the corner in the side mode. So we want to do face mode, and I like to hit A, and that will select everything. So in the edit mode, you do the select box tool, you hit faces up here, face select, not the edge select, and then vertex selects, but we're doing face select. Then there's the edge select, which is right on the edge. So, and then the vertices is just these little points right here. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to click the surface of one face and hit A, and that basically selects everything. And you can look around and make sure, up and down, that and that. All right. So there is one more thing I want to go back for object mode, and that's duplicating and deleting. So this is selected, Option D. Option D on a Mac in the object mode will duplicate it. So again, I selected it, I'm in select tool, and I've done Option and the letter D, and that is the quick way of duplicating. So now you know how to duplicate. What about deleting? And there's, what you do is go X, you would select and hit X, and then it gives us prompt, say delete, and go X, delete, X, delete, and delete, and I'll keep one. I think we're gonna do a separate video for more of the edit mode, so stay tuned, and we will be right back.